Good day, everyone. I hope everyone has a wonderful Sunday. What I'm going to discuss today is the market movements of Bitcoin and crypto. And I'm going to discuss the requests, which are Chainlink, Enjin, Matic, TomoChain, and Zilliqa. But first, I have to discuss one thing, and that is the insane amount of stupid tweets and stuff I see on social media. These periods you will see who's smart and who's stupid, and the stupid group is getting bigger by the day. There's an argument that states that the seasonal flu has more deaths than the coronavirus per day, and that the coronavirus is just a flu. This is the official chart from the WHO, where you can see that the seasonal flu has 1,000 deaths per day worldwide. It's a little bit behind, as it's stating that the coronavirus has 56, which is the total amount of deaths divided by 365 days, right? If we go to the total death and daily deaths of the coronavirus, we can see that 2 days ago it was 1,080. Yesterday it was 2 days ago. Was 3 days ago it was 1,080. 2 days ago 1,300. Yesterday 1,600. If you want to see Spain and Italy alone, it's already above the seasonal flu, and they still don't have the peak. And we still have many countries following. It's even coming in Africa and South America right now. It's coming in Eastern Europe. So if you say that it's a seasonal flu, you're just plain stupid and you should shut the fuck up. Alright. Let's go to the Bitcoin chart. As we see here that we have had a nice move to 6.8, as we've discussed in the previous videos. After that, a slight test of 56, and now we are lagging against 6.4. We're not breaking it, and as I stated, I think we're still going to see more downwards movements, given that there's still more panic to come regarding the coronavirus. I'm just checking outside here and life is just going on, so people generally don't understand what's happening, especially also in the States and all the big countries. But if you check the chart, we know that there's a CME gap at 59. We have rejected quite harsh from the 68 level, and there's basically no volume in this push up. So my main scenario would be that we make a bearish rejection here at 6.5, 6.6, drop to 5.4, bounce to 5.9, and then make the lows or test the lows at least, which makes bullish divergence on the higher time frames. I still believe that we're going to see a longer period of accumulation until we crack the 6.8 level and flip support. If we do that, I'm bullish. If we don't, I'm bearish. I'm just going to sit on my cash. I don't have any rush right now. The main important thing is that my family stays alive and nothing more. So this is the key level. However, this whole run up doesn't provide any volume, which indicates that we are going to see a big volatile move. Should be expected that the equity markets might drop down some more before a relief rally, given that the new panic has to come, or a new level of it. So my two scenarios, as discussed previously, is that we go to 6.5, 6.6, reject here, and then drop to 5.4, 5.3, 5.4, where I'll be looking for some longs. If we take 6.5, 6.6, there's still a pretty reasonable scenario that we take the highs here and then drop. So for now, my bias is bearish until we clearly bottom out. I've also written that in my article. If you check the daily time frame, you can just see that we've had a harsh drop down, and I just don't see a point in making a quick reversal back up, especially given this rejection here. If we do, wonderful. Bitcoin is then outperforming everything, but if we don't, I'll be looking for some longs lower to create the bullish divergence we've seen in almost every bottom formation. So being cautious, being patient, that's probably the way to go. being patient here, and if the market drops down, it provides you insane opportunities again. If we break up, okay, then you're probably a little bit behind, but then you just buy the retest and the confirmation of support. There's literally no rush. So that's my view on Bitcoin right now. The total market cap chart is showing the clear view as well. Bounced on support area here, rejected at the resistance, and probably defined a range in this area for a while, in which I am looking for longs in the green zones. Might be scalping in between. If we flip red, we can see 240 billion. If we can't, then we are going to see a long sideways period, I assume. Might be seeing a bottom formation around the halving, and then the opposite of the buy the rumor, sell the news concept, in which we sell the rumor and buy the news, in which the halving is actually the bottom. But we have to see that. It's a likely scenario. Then the requests. Some look good, some look shit. It's the same. I've tweeted link yesterday, and we bounced on the support here for Chainlink. However, we can't even break 37.5. So it looks like we're going to see a new lower test, in which I do not believe this area around 33.8 is going to hold. If not, I'm looking for, should adjust it a little bit. I'm looking for 29.3 to 30 for a support test, and then we might be testing the previous high from here if Bitcoin makes a relief bounce as well. If not, then probably around 34 is going to be resistance, and you will see further downwards movements. But this harsh rejection at 37 looks like we're going to see some more downwards tests. This does not provide any good opportunities at this point until we can see a smaller time frame bullish divergence here, or we can see support in this area, and then I'll be scalping for some longs, especially given that we have seen huge wicks and didn't close above the resistance level here. If we go to Link USDT, I have to go to Link USD, as there has been a market sell. It shows on the daily that not much bullishness either. I mean, huge drop down, bounce as well, and now it's just range bound, in which the areas here are for me the support areas I'd want to long. Right now I just don't see any opportunity apart from that we might be breaking down, and you could be watching for some scalp levels in this area here. No new higher high, indicating that we should be seeing some further downwards movements. If we break up, I'd be looking for shorts in this zone here around 280, 290. The overall market is still finding a way to bottom out and to just trend further downwards, given that people are not buying crypto at this point. There's just no real scenario for that, unless the dollar collapses all of a sudden, or unless there is a cure for the coronavirus and the equities bounce up. That should be it. But for now, I'm just watching lower levels for Chainlink, looking at 160, 175, and $1 to 120 for potential support. After that, 60 cents, but that should not be the case, I guess. Then Enjin, the only one that's actually looking pretty decent, for now at least. Didn't really catch this long here, as it's just a plain support resistance flip. Nice rally upwards. There's a few levels you should be watching here for potential longs, which is this area. And if we zoom in, we could see that there's already a bounce here. So these two zones are the ones you would be looking for longs, and the levels to watch for resistances are these zones over here. So this is one of the few that's actually looking pretty okay. If we retrace down towards here, I'd be watching to get some spot longs, and then you could make this play, especially given that this push upwards is just a pretty strong one with some decent volume after the support resistance flip. So I assume we're going to see some support resistance flips here as well. But definitely I'd be watching for some longs around 1050 to 1100 sats, might be even 970, and then you could be watching for a rally towards 1400 satoshis. Similar here on the USDT chart. If the green zone holds, we could see a rally towards 9 cents, which is 65%. So yeah, definitely watching this coin from here, as it's showing strength as the only few ones. Green zone holding, green. The purple levels are monthly levels, weekly levels, sorry. So the area here is going to be the area I'm going to watch for longs. For now, it's just mostly range bound in the market. The easier one, Zilliqa, is still acting in a range, as you can see. Could be an accumulation range, and that's providing a pretty standard approach in longing and shorting, I assume. You'd want to long the area here, this block, which is between 57 and 65 satoshis. You would watch for longs around there. If there's a clear breakdown downwards here, you just close. But the lowest risk reward ratio, or the highest risk reward ratio, is when you can get here, because you can just take the long, have a pretty tiny stop, and let it run from there, as this is the range support and this is a range resistance. From here you could be watching for a pretty nice 50% move. If we crack this level, there you could be watching for a rally towards 135 satoshis, but first we have to assume that we have support here. So yeah, I'd be watching 56 to 59 satoshis. USDT chart is just providing nothing apart from it has to flip this level. If it does, then we could see a sustainable rally towards 0.06 cents. But given that we have rejected here as well, I assume we're just gonna go crash down some more. So the only pair that I'll be watching for Zilliqa is BTC. Mainly with altcoins, it's first Bitcoin has to bottom and then altcoins will outperform. That's the usual case. We've discussed Tomo earlier. When it was moving around here, I said that I want to see a flip in this at this level, and then I'd be interested. Otherwise, I'd be interested here. Well, we slam dunked LeBron James through it. Got to the next support, bounced back up, rejected, and now it looks like we're going to see some more downwards momentum. So I'll be watching between 3200 and 3400 satoshis for longs. For now, I'll just not be interested in this one at all, unfortunately. Then the last one, Matic. Also, yeah, it's not the best. I mean, the daily time frame shows that it broke below support and now is rejected. The only case that I'd be inclined to see further movements is when we hold here, which is 171, 172 satoshis, and then we could see a rally to 211. However, if it starts to look like shit, I'll be assuming that we're going to see further downwards movement. So it has to break the 180, 185 satoshis level. If it does, then we could see further movements to 211 and maybe 240 satoshis. That's depending on Bitcoin. The USDT chart is slightly better, as we flipped the 1 cent level, which could indicate a further rally towards 1 cent, 1.3 cents. But the general case is that Bitcoin has to bottom out. And I do not mean that we have to make a bottom in general for it. Of course, yes, if Bitcoin completely bottoms out, altcoins will start to outperform. But if Bitcoin defines a range for a few days, altcoins also have space to just rally for a little bit. So imagine if Bitcoin goes to 6.6 and then makes a drop down, it could stay here for some time before it breaks down. Which I refer back to for the movements we have seen earlier in a bottom formation, is that over here we bottomed out at 6.6, broke down, and then ranged for 13 days before it made a new low. Similarly, over here it ranged for a while as well, 6 days, Every bottom has some period of sideways move as accumulation through which altcoins get the pace of just moving around. So if Bitcoin hits these levels here, you can assume that we're going to range for a little while before we make the next drop down. So the most likely scenario would be that that we make the drop down, go sideways for a little bit, and then start to drop like this, which could occur in like a few weeks from now. I'm not saying we go to 3.6, but that's the most likely scenario, unless we crack 6.8. So in that period, you could trade altcoins for sure. However, it's not I wouldn't be risking my whole portfolio on it. All right, 15 minutes in. I hope you found this video interesting. Just a small video in which I've defined some levels and my view on the markets and my view on the stupid level of human being. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful Sunday, and I'll speak to you tomorrow evening.